Mic check, 1, 2.
Spot on.
Hi, I'm chef, restaurant owner and music fan Paul Ainsworth, and this is Knives, Forks and Tunes, the podcast where we ask the all-important questions, dream dinner party menu, playlist, and of course, who's invited. Every episode's cooking tips and party playlists are available in the show's description. My guest this week is Allan Mustafa, better known as Seapa. He's Bafta-Award-winning actor for co-creating, writing and starring in the brilliant People Just Do Nothing as MC Grinder for no less than 5 series on the BBC. And with a film titled Big in Japan in cinemas this month, as part of Kurupt FM, he's released tracks with absolute legends, Craig David, Mist and JK, with an album out later this year. He also recently starred in the film Love, Wedding, Repeat, out now on Netflix. And more importantly, he's a fellow foodie, tasting his way around the world with the Taste Cadets. Seapa, welcome to Knives, Forks and Tunes. Firstly, that's an intro.
That is a strong intro. Do you know what? It's good to be reminded of all my achievements. I love that.
Yeah. And I'm going to point out, because I've listened to lots of stuff, Taste Cadets is not a cooking show, it's an eating show.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly that. Do you know why? Because I don't want to have the audacity to take, cooking away from people like you that have trained for it, that have put the work in. I'm just here to, just appreciate and try to understand and learn about it. Because for me, food isn't just about the taste and, what you eat in the time. It's the culture as well around it and the history of it. And that all interests me. And that's why it's got the sort of travel element to it.
I got to admit, you really know your stuff. And I'm going to come into that as we go through this. But you're impressive. What you know about food, I don't even get anywhere near on music. You really do know your stuff. And what I love is you love food. Genuinely love it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's I don't know, anything I do, I just want it to be honest and genuine without sounding pretentious, but food for me isn't something that I might get into that, or I might, I want to be a foodie, or it's just something I've always been obsessed with and always loved. And my dad's from Kurdistan, my mum's from Czech Republic. Food was always massive in our household from growing up. It was home cooked food from all different parts of the world, and I guess restaurants wasn't. That wasn't something I experienced until I got a bit older, and I think that's where maybe that it became an obsession, because I was I want to be able to try things, outside my household and around the world and stuff like that, and I guess that's where, it is a bit of an obsession for me. Food, yeah.
Well, this podcast, mate, is all about food, music, but before we get to the food and the music, right? No dinner party is set without an awesome lineup of guests. Now, your lineup of guests is amazing. Really, really amazing. There's a couple on there that I would actually have in my guest list.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
So
nice.
Should we kick off with who's coming to this party?
It's quite a random list. Anthony Bourdain, for me, is he's one of my biggest inspirations in life. Yeah. Especially everything we were talking about, but even in general, just the fact that he was the original anti-presenter, he's the original person that came onto TV and was just unapologetically himself, Yeah. And that is something that I will just always look to and take inspiration from to keep, it's good to keep yourself in check and have someone like that to look up to. Do you know what I mean? And I just think he'd be amazing. And obviously, he knows his food. he's been around the world. He's doing everything that Taste Cadets want to be. That is our inspiration. Yeah. So, I had to have him at the table. And then Wu-Tang are one of my biggest hip hop. I'm the biggest Wu-Tang fan, and it's hard to pick one of them. And I wouldn't want them all there, because I'd want one to just shine on their own. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, so I wouldn't want them, whisper. When you bring 2 friends to a party, they end up just chatting together. Do you know what I mean? I want everyone to feel as insecure as everyone else. Put it that way.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You've really thought about that. Do you know what? I'm going to take that one. I like that.
So it's got to be Raekwon, because he calls himself Raekwon the chef. So, I mean, I think originally he was chefing up other things, but you know, let's take that as food. And he's a big guy. He obviously loves his food and that. So, like, I think he'll be good. Ricky Gervais, because I'm the biggest Office fan, and for me, quite obviously, from doing People to Nothing, The Office is my biggest inspiration comedically. So I just want him there, so we could talk about Office for a good couple hours as well. Do you know what I mean?
He's a genius, isn't he?
Yeah,
so,
man.
So Anthony Bourdain and Ricky Gervais, that's what would be on my list.
Oh, really? Okay, amazing. Sick.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can I be on your list then? Because I'd want to do it again, probably.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Because I feel like I've had a great night by the end of it, so I need to do it again. And then Frida Kahlo, I just think she's sick.
Yeah.
And she switched the game up for, females in general. And I've been to Mexico recently and learned a lot more about her. And I think she's outspoken as well, so it'd be great conversation at the table. But also, I like that she's a bit of a troll. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think she'd be able to just terrorise people around the table, and I love that as well.
You said you went to Mexico recently. Yeah. Were you blown away by the food?
Oh, man. I went with the Taste Cadets on a little trip, and it was insane. I was blown away mentally and also physically after eating so many tacos. But honestly, the first day in Mexico City, we did 12 different taco vendors, and all in the gulliest, the undisclosed meats, but they're incredible.
Yeah,
it was so good, man. And then went down to Oaxaca, and it was completely different.
Yeah,
there. It's a lot lighter, a lot more moles and different things like that. Yeah.
I was just going to say about moles as well. It's like how they vary.
Incredible.
They've all got their own style.
And for someone that wants to know, I want to know everything about food. Yeah. It's hard because you don't. You're like, what is a mole? What? It's basically just a sauce, but. Oh, okay, so mole is something with chocolate. Well, that's what we know here. No, it's not. There's green ones that haven't got chocolate. There's the red ones, yellow ones. So it's basically just a sauce. There's just so many of them. And it's just the fact that they put so many ingredients in them to form them into different, sort of completely different dishes.
Yeah.
Really complex, but also can be really light. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was amazing. It's like being in a completely different country from Mexico City down in Oaxaca and Puebla as well, and just the food is incredible, man. Yeah, so good.
I mean, Frida is definitely going to be proper interesting, isn't she?
Yeah,
that's going to be someone that's going to have so many interesting stories.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Exactly. So you need that at the table as well. You need storytelling at a good dinner party. Do you know what I mean? Talking of storytelling, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Because, and it's not even, he's funny, obviously, but he's a mad, intelligent, interesting character as well. So, I don't know, man. I just think he's a G. He's one of my favourite stand-up. Well, he is my favourite stand-up, when it comes to stand-up comedy. So, I just think and he's got his own podcast as well, and I've been listening to him, and that's what made me think even more, just hearing him talk.
Yeah.
Not just seeing him perform, but hearing him talk. Also, he does a joke about Anthony Bourdain. I shouldn't laugh, but he makes a joke about Anthony Bourdain taking his own life in his latest stand-up, which I was a little bit like, what? And he explains it, and it, it's always got a deeper meaning to it. Like, you never know what's going on in people's heads. Bourdain travelled the world, ate the best food in the world, had a really successful job, and then that. So it's like, there's a lesson to be taken from that, right? But anyway, I'd like to give Bourdain the chance to maybe hit back at this dinner party.
Yeah.
So I'm giving people the opportunity as well. This is what I'm doing.
I think you'll enjoy this story. So when I worked for Gordon Ramsay for 6 years, and at Royal Hospital Road, the free Michelin Star restaurant, and an unbelievable experience. And you can imagine from celebrities to icons, politicians, anyone. It was so many people came through that restaurant in my time there, but I've never ever seen Gordon quite as this guy is God.
Really?
As when Anthony Bourdain came and ate with us.
Amazing.
And as young chefs, we were all kind of kitchen confidentials.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
Like that. We were. And
my favourite book. Yeah.
So we were but Gordon was just like we all are. When you have someone in your restaurant that you really respect, it's just human nature. You just automatically go up another level. You want it to be. Yeah. And of all the people I saw go through Royal Hospital Road in my time there, that was the one person I saw Gordon just like, this has to be, he has to leave here being blown away. That's amazing. Because and also the fact that Bourdain wasn't even like the top of the top chef in the world. No. It wasn't even that. No. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's tribute to him. That was 2000. Yeah. So after his book, after No Reservations. Yeah. Cook's Tour. Yeah. And I can't imagine Gordon Ramsay being someone that, you know, would easily sort of feel that pressure or want to impress people sort of thing. Yeah. So that's a real tribute to Bourdain. That's an amazing story. Yeah, it was. Sick. It was. That's cool. Okay, cool. And then I'd also put Kurt Cobain in there because for me, he's like one of my favourite musicians of all time. I just think he's a real interesting character. Again, he is a bit of a troll as well, so I just feel like he'd be quite fun. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if he gets a little bit, we just give him a little guitar to smash, or do you know what I mean? Just keep him busy. Love it. No, but Cobain's a G. He's someone I look up to as well, with the whole doing things in the purest form, and not adhering to what anyone else thinks or says. Do you know what I mean? I think that's really important. So, yeah, Bob Marley as well. Yeah, because that is where you could get the weed cookie in. Yeah, yeah, and also it might be nice to have a little, you know, it's not the strong stuff they smoke these days. It's like the more chilled out. Yeah, the 70s weed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, the 70s weed. Yeah. We could maybe blaze that just before the dessert. I think I'd probably do a little soup. Yeah, nice. Well, I've had it in soup before. Yeah. We're doing little amuse bouche. Yeah. I'm loving this. This party is taking a turn. It's good, isn't it? Yeah. And also, you know, you want a little bit of, you know, Come Down With Me, they do the a bit of music or whatever. Get him the guitar. Come on. Him and Kurt Cobain and Raekwon the chef back to back would be pretty. Yeah, that'd be pretty sick, I think. Olivia Colman. Love this choice. Great, isn't it? So, I mean, obviously she's absolutely amazing, but for me, I'm doing the job I do, don't get to watch much television, but like a couple of years ago, you know, when you watch something, you're like, that was incredible. Broadchurch. Right, I haven't seen that. I'd never seen that. And like watching her in Broadchurch, I mean, you've got David Tennant in there as well. And the one I watched was with Hayley from Coronation Street. She plays the character in it. She's amazing. Sick, She's unbelievable. I just think she's so good because like... It's a bit like Steve Carell as well, actually, when you see him in a great comedy role and then he just smashes drama. That's like her for me. Like I you know, apart from The Office, I'm a massive Peep Show fan. Yeah. And Sophie from Peep Show is just legendary, man. And she's just amazing. So when I see her come out and smash all these other roles, it's just, I'm just, and what she's doing for like culty comedy TV actor from the UK and just smashing it internationally. It's just, I think she's amazing. And I just feel like she'd be quite down to earth. Yeah. And just sit to have at the table as someone like that's killing it, but also quite normal. Quite down normal. To earth. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So she'd be sick. And obviously my mates Kieran and Marky, because you've got to have the Taste Cadets there. 100%. Because like whenever I feel awkward, I can just chat to one of them. Because it is quite a lot of pressure. Like, to be honest, this question really, I always used to think, well, no one, because I always feel like I'd let them all down because I don't want to meet them. Do you know what I mean? I'd only, in this fantasy version, I want to be killing it constantly. Everything I say is an amazingly well-rounded anecdote and there's never any weird pauses or gaps or anything. So let's add that to it as well. Do you like the film Dumb and Dumber? Yeah, I do. You know the bit when he dreams and he's really impressed with that, and he's in the Christmas jumper and he like does a fart and lights it and he said all these jokes. And they love it. And they love him. That's what I want. That's what you want in your... Otherwise it's pointless. You meet all these amazing people and you're just silent trying to get a word in it and then you've got to repeat yourself and it's not the same and no. I just imagined this table and you're all in Christmas jumpers and you're just like cracking everyone up, lighting your own farts. You've got Dave Chappelle screaming, slapping the table going, why aren't you the biggest stand-up in the world? And I don't want to be Dave, that's your job. I do this just when I'm at a dinner party, it's fine. And they're loving it. They're cracking up. Oh, dear. Right. Raekwon the chef wasn't that impressed, no. Raekwon the chef? Yeah, but I wouldn't mind because he's just... Yeah. Well, he's a bit of a G, so he's allowed to be chill. Yeah. Right, before we get onto your menu, I'm going to give you some quick-fire questions. Okay. Do you cook much? Yes. Obviously. Yeah. Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Savoury, yeah. Do you host much?
What, dinner parties?
Yeah.
I've always sort of fantasised that I would by this. I'm like 35. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, when I'm older, I will. In my mind, by now, I'd be doing loads. But no, I don't actually.
Do you know the reality, though?
Yeah.
The reality is, it is bloody hard work.
It is. It's
you're
all washing
hot,
up.
You're not enjoying it,
Yeah.
and then they all piss off.
Yeah.
And you're just all this washing up, and then it goes to the morning.
Yeah.
And you wake up, the kitchen stinks.
Yeah.
It's
so true, isn't it? Take out the bin and it leaks through. Oh, I've got to wash the bin now.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for washing the bin. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I do always fantasise about doing it, and I probably will when I'm an adult.
Yeah. Love it. Right, let's get onto the menu. Seapa starter, first course, like what is it?
Okay, so some of my favourite stuff in the world is just like antipasti type. You know what I mean? Like things that you can just kick it off with nice and slow. You know, you start slow and then you're being polite, and then you start sort of eyeing up the last bit. You know what I mean? That sort of, you start going faster and faster and more and more and more.
Yeah.
I just like more. I love food. So, but so it would be like some Italian cold cuts, like you know, some salami from Bologna. You know, some the one with the pistachios in it from Bologna. Mortadella. Yeah. Some mortadella, some prosciutto. You know what I mean? Like a few different selections.
Yeah.
Some really nice fresh baked bread. Probably I'd go for a baguette with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I actually prefer a baguette. Like a lot of times when I'm in Italy having this amazing spread, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the bread would be nice, but it still doesn't beat a freshly baked baguette. You know, and if it's my fantasy land, then let's just chuck that in there.
It's your fancy. It's your fantasy menu, and a baguette.
A baguette,
stunning.
You know, and let's keep the Italian bread in there as well.
Yeah,
and then maybe even like, you know, you get the sort of the bread with the fresh butter and like the nice English restaurants as well, from like a bakery, like St. John's. You know, that sort of style. So let's get all three breads in there. And then some burrata, some nice tomatoes, some good olive oil, some good balsamic vinegar.
Pickles and chilies.
Yeah. Olives, because you want to make yourself a nice bite with all the different elements, you know.
Yeah.
And also, Roman artichokes cooked in olive oil.
Yeah.
Man, when we went to Rome, man, they were incredible. Just soft. I'd have that as part of it as well.
For everyone listening to this, like when I read your menu, like I said at the beginning of this, you really, really know your stuff. That is very, very close to something I would pick. All those flavours, all those things you love. And if I could make a recommendation, which I think you'd really love. So we have a restaurant called Cafe Rigiano, which is kind of Italian, Mediterranean. So we got a lot of Spanish, a lot of Italian. And we do a whole baked cheese, like a camembert, like that. But we stud it with cooked garlic, thyme and rosemary. Yeah. So then with all of your ham on and your mortadella and your charcuterie and all of that, you've just got this kind of cheese fondue in the middle of the table with like cooked sweet garlic.
Wow.
But I'm so with you because I love that kind of small plate culture. I love it where you haven't chosen a starter. You've chosen something that every bite you can make different.
Exactly.
And that is an inspired choice.
Yeah, amazing.
I love it.
And
I absolutely love it.
100% chuck that dish in as well. Yeah. You sold me. Yeah, I'm starving. Staring at you like you're going to pull it out.
Yeah. That'll be, if we get a second series, that'll be like, I'll have you back and we'll have the food with it. You've picked a cocktail for this one. Talk us through the cocktail.
I just like starting on a little cocktail.
Yeah.
Having that little bit of a buzz.
Yeah.
That, once you've even eaten, when you've got that bit of buzz, you're sort of a bit more starving, aren't you? Yeah. You sort of opened yourself up. Picante. I'm not really a massive sort of mixers and syrups and all that in a cocktail. You know, I like a fresh cocktail.
I think it suits like how you are with food.
Right.
Like, I mean, I'd never heard of this cocktail, and I looked it up. You know, chilies, coriander. Yeah. You know, like tequila being, you know, tequila. When you look at how tequila's made and sort of like the ethos behind tequila. Yeah. I think it just sort of suits your absolute obsession and love of food.
Yeah, and lime because I'm sour.
Yeah.
So,
And spicy.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So it's just mainly just like you said, it's lime juice with a bit of coriander, chili, tequila, a bit of sweetener, but like a natural sweetener. It's not overly sweet.
Yeah, it's agave. That's it. Agave nectar.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it's just it's a really nice, refreshing drink just to start the night off. Really.
Let's come to the all important. Like you've matched the drink with the starter. Like everyone is just right now having a great time, great time. And before Kurt peaks on the cookies, like he
pulls his guitar out.
He pulls his guitar out. He is loving this. He's having a great time. Yeah. So everyone's having a great drink. And talking to Kurt, I'll let you go on with a song.
Yeah, because I don't want Kurt to maybe feel sometimes, because I know he can get in his own head a little bit. So not to feel left out. I'd be like, I could see him fading a little bit at this point. So I'm like, Kurt, recognise this? and I just pop on "Come As You Are" by Nirvana. And then he gets the guitar and he sort of sings along with it. Yeah. And so we'll put on the probably the acoustic version from Unplugged.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more chilled out. We just started.
Yeah.
Don't it to be too intense. Yeah.
Now, I've got to ask you, like I've been really, really excited to meet you. There's a lot of people I know massive fans of yours. And like back in the day, so I was kind of, my raving area was the 2000s.
Sick,
And I'm a massive UK garage fan. Like me and my wife, that's how we met. Like, and being from Southampton and little story which you all appreciate, like we used to go to a club called McCluskey's.
Yeah,
and
we had a McCluskey's in Kingston where I'm from.
Did you?
Yeah,
right. And literally this lad used to be going up and down the queue giving everybody like copies of his tape.
Yeah.
Right. And it was Craig David.
Oh wow.
And it was Rewind.
Wow.
And he was just literally giving it out to everyone in the queue, and he was playing in the club and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
So I think, I don't know, I built up in my head, and with, people just do nothing in the sort of the garage, the jungle.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a curveball, the Nirvana choice. Like, where does that come from?
Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to surprise people.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, do you know why? Because I guess for me, like garage and grime and jungle is about sets, not songs on their own. Do you know what I mean? So I just would feel like it would just be weird to just pop one song on there. Do you know what I mean? That's why I stayed away from that. Plus, I want to shock people. I want to show different sides to me, my softer sides. Well, a grunge band isn't that soft, is it?
I really get that answer. I know what you're saying.
Like
you say that it's like sets as opposed to like you.
I don't want it just an isolated track on its own, because then I'm ready to listen to more and I want to go partying.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to eat. Do you know what I mean? Start getting those butterfly feelings before you go to a rave and that.
Yeah.
It's ruining my meal.
But I think we can throw a rave in at the end of this, can't we?
Yeah, we'll just get a set. We'll get the rest of the Kurupt boys in and we'll just jump on.
Love it.
Call down Craig.
Right. Seapa, let's go on to the main course.
Again, this is kind of inspired by, like a good holiday in Italy. I'd usually get a couple of pastas again, because I'm going to be sharing and stuff like that. So it would be some sort of beef shin ragu.
Yeah.
Either like a rigatoni or like a parpadelle. Like I want something thick, something for it to get caught into.
Yeah.
I like about the rigatoni that could get into the grooves and into the. Do you know what I mean? Like that good meat just getting.
You're blowing my mind right now. You talk like a chef. Honestly, you talk. You even know what pastas to kind of for what dishes to soak up the like. This. I am so impressed. I'm so impressed.
Thanks,
loving
bro.
it. Loving it.
I'm gassed that you said that, man.
Loving it.
And then I'll have like a cacio e pepe again with some bucatini.
Yeah.
To get inside and I just like it a bit thicker as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
That cheese and cracked black pepper.
Oh man. So simple but so incredible.
Yeah.
And you're just getting the emotion right with the water. It's just
Sorry, he just said emulsion. Of course he did. Of course he did. MC, grime, jungle, but of course he said emulsion. Oh my goodness.
It just comes from being obsessed, doesn't it? You know, like, if you're obsessed with anything, you just like YouTube all day will just be food for me. You know what I mean? Like, or just before bed, just like it's weird, but I enjoy it. And then so then I'd have that. I'd probably still keep the bread on the table as well. So you can, they've got a name for it in Italian as well. Scarpetta. Mopping the juices up right at the end, the sauce. And then, I also always have a salad on the side of everything. Yeah. That's something that, from like in a Middle Eastern household, you always have, rice, meat, bread, salad. It's always on the table, right? So, but something fairly simple like rocket and parmesan, kind of salad, and that would be my main. Because actually, you know what? When I was at a restaurant, this is true story. There was a restaurant in Rome, and I remember when I was quite polite to waiters in Rome, I'd just get treated like shit, and then I realised that they're quite like cool, manly sort of guys. I'm like, okay, right, I've got to switch this up. So I've had to take my plate away. I went. And I held his hand and I pointed at the bread and went, scarpetta, and he loved it. I went, yes! He loves me, he gets me.
I think it's because you went,
yeah.
And if everyone could see your face, because that's what they do in Sicily. That's what
exactly.
Al Capone would
do. Yeah. Just putting your hand on top of his, and he's like, he looked at me like, I respect that.
Yeah, because he could shoot me.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sitting there with my belt undone, just stuffed out of my mind, looking like a fat mafia boss.
So on your menu, the thing that stuck out for me, Seapa, was beef shin. Like when you know what you're talking about, like for chefs, we would use beef shin every day of the week because the depth of flavour in that, but how to cook that, and like once that's broken down, and you get this nice bit of jelly in it as well, like you do with a feather blade, and. I mean, that's, again, one of my favourite dishes.
But that's where all the flavour's at.
Yeah.
All the cheaper cuts of meat that you've got to cook for longer and give them that love. That's what you're getting the flavour, isn't it? Yeah.
And a pasta like the rigatoni, as you said earlier, just to kind of like where it all sort of binds up and stuff.
Yeah.
Delicious. Apps. The idea with a salad, completely agree with you.
Just cuts through it a little bit.
It does, because it's nice, because you got all that richness, and then that salad, beautiful, and as we said before, the cacio pepe. I mean, that's again what a dish.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's just nice to have the different colours. The brownie red and the white. Like there's two different things that you can keep switching up. You know, I love that.
Knowing you've probably already done it, and I'm not. I'm not teaching this boy nothing new. Yes, I did that when we were traveling through Naples. But so we got another at Cafe Rigiano where we've got Italian Mediterranean vibe. We've got a beef ragu on now, but we're on another dish. We had chimichurri, right, but a more not so thick kind of. So we had more olive oil to it and that stuff, but. Just a little bit of like chilled chimichurri, like dressed over the top. So you got pasta, ragu. You just get this loads of herbaceous, like loveliness,
and
kind
again,
of going
it just
with
like
it.
cuts through it a little bit. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and we put a tiny pinch of cumin in our chimichurri.
Okay,
banging,
nice, amazing. Yeah.
My God, he hasn't tried that.
I'm saving myself till I come down.
What would you drink with that, Seapa?
So I've recently got into, in the last couple of years, I got into natural wines.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in East London, so I'm just one of them people now. But also
avocado, sourdough.
Yeah, just found out about avocado. That's what I'm mate. That's what Hugo, the guy that plays beats. He's like, he lives a bit further out now, and he drives to come and see me. He's like, I always know when I'm near and I see signs of sourdough. I'm like, that's old. Come on, we've been eating sourdough for years now. But to be honest, there's a rapper that I'm massively into who's also he really knows his stuff. Action Bronson.
Yeah.
And he's massively into food. He was a chef for years, and then he turned into a rapper. And anyway, he didn't really drink, didn't like much alcohol, didn't like wine. I wasn't really a massive wine guy. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And then I started seeing him. He had this little food show, and he started drinking natural wines. They're a lot more juicy and light. And I mean, essentially, a natural wine is just wine without as much additives, as much sulfates. So it's how they originally made wine back in the day. It's not a new thing, really.
Yeah. I thought you were actually going to say it's like wine without the shit in it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Although you do get a nice bit of sediment in it, which I do like loads of floating shit. And no, but the good thing is, so I learned it off it.
Just so you know, that's a sackable offence in a lot of restaurants.
Really?
If you've disturbed that bottle and you bring it to the table and it's got all the stuff floating through it, oh yeah, you're in trouble.
The classic wines, yeah. I've also made the mistake for asking for natural wines in classic wine places, and they're like, "What?
Yeah,
this wine's 3,000 years old. And you're drinking this." No, but the nice thing about, I mean, that's who kind of watching him kind of made me think, oh, let me try that, and it was my gateway into wine. I love wine now, like even classic wine, but. What I like about natural wine is that they're made in smaller batches by people that care about what they're doing, right? Yeah. So that's a good thing. It's like you want that with food, you want that with everything. So there's a guy called Patrick Bourdain who's like one of the masters of it from Paris, and literally, I still don't know my shit, but any red that I order from him is just incredible, and you can serve them chilled as well because they're slightly lighter.
Yeah.
Not like a rosé. They still got like depth and body, but
kind of like Beaujolais.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I went to Greece recently, and they'll serve their house chilled, their house red chilled. Yeah. In like the tavernas and that. So I love it. I love it like that. And so I'd have a bottle of that from old Beaujolais. Yeah, my old boy. Just
going slightly, you've just mentioned Greece.
Oh yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. That is like my favourite place to go.
Oh man,
I've just come back. How much do you love their food?
Incredible. Amazing,
isn't it?
Man, I was every day and night. I was just looking forward to lunch and dinner. Yeah. I mean, lunch was always a gyros every day. Yeah. From a different type of place. Yeah. and I went through I had the like the best ones, like the street side ones, and then I had one at the hotel. Yeah. That's all right. And then I had one at a fine dining restaurant where they made it tiny. You know, like where they did, Well, I'm trying them all.
And don't put the fries in it.
No, they don't put the fries in it. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
What's going on? Yeah. And but the dinners every night, like even just the salad, just like a Greek salad. Like my first night, because everything has been going on, you got to get your PCR test and all that. My girlfriend's one didn't come in time. So I flew, and instead of changing both flights and having to pay for both, I flew out. I did the chivalrous thing and flew out on my own to a luxury hotel in Greece.
I was going to say, that, like, fair play to you, mate. That must have been really tough.
I just thought... I'm a thoughtful guy, so I got there. But I'm not going to lie, it was Santorini, so I was a little bit like... It's not like going to New York and just like exploring on your own. It's a couple's destination. It's weird.
Yeah.
And I got to the hotel and I was
just
like,
all white buildings, blue sea, and you're like on your own.
Yeah, exactly. And even dinners as well. Like you're there and I'm on the plane and everyone's a couple and I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I look like a freak actually. What am I doing? It's not like a traveller explorer destination on your own. And but luckily the first restaurant we'd had booked was literally just near our hotel and it was just like a taverna type of place. It wasn't like some like sunset view, romantic dinner, and it was amazing though because I just sat there and I love doing this as well. On my own, just going to a restaurant of mine. I sat there. I ordered a Greek salad, a tzatziki, some bread, a little carafe of wine, and then I had moussaka for mains, and it was just an amazing night just on my own. Yeah, it's so good.
So if you were asking me these questions, right, and I was going main course, right, gyros, or I don't know if you've heard of it over there. They've got a dish called lamb cleftico.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh my goodness,
so good.
Because that whole like clay oven or fire pit slow roast lamb shoulder, and like feta. I mean, at home I'll put feta on everything. Like I just love feta. You
bathe in feta.
Yeah, just that salty, tangy good, cheese and that. But that they would be probably, or just a flatbread with tzatziki, again, lamb, all of that. Oh, yeah.
All of that. And that's the thing, like that is so, that's my Middle Eastern side as well. Like just a barbecued or grilled lamb, with bread, salad, dip. That is... Yeah, that for me is the most primal, incredible food. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Fan of tartar malata? Done properly.
So you're going to hate me now, and this is the time I need to really disclose this to you, and I'm scared to any chef, but you, because you are very much into that part of the cuisine. I don't eat fish or seafood.
That's okay. That's good.
Know, but I hate telling chefs that because they in their mind he basically just eats beans and chips. Then
not allergy, as in just not.
Sometimes I say it's allergy, but it's not. I can't. No. Yeah, I think something happened. I did as a kid, and then there must have been some sort of event.
Yeah.
Slapped around the head with a fish.
I
don't know. But and it's my mum loves it. My dad. I don't know why. You know something. Recently though, I weirdly enough, I'm more attracted to the thought of trying to eat seafood than fish.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess, to be fair, when I was in Greece and my girl would always order fish and it's straight from the sea.
Yeah.
There's no smell. It's so fresh. So maybe that's what it is with me as well. It's like getting over that thing in my mind. But I tried a clam the other day at 4 Legs and it was actually banging.
Yeah,
it's good. I was really scared, but
when and not if.
Yeah,
right, See, but when you and your girlfriend come to Cornwall,
yeah,
I reckon I could. I'm not going to try on fish because I think with fish is fish, but I think seafood.
Yeah,
because especially with things say like clams, scallops, lobster, crab, and with us in Padstow, lobster and crab is the main trade. Coming out of Padstow.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like the most amazing seafood should just smell of the sea. And I grew up thinking that fish smelt of fish. Yeah. Like that, like from the fishmongers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, that kind of fishy smell.
I'd hate walking past the fishmongers. Yeah.
But I reckon I could convert you. And I'd have a go with, after watching some of the stuff you've done with food, I'd have a go with scallops.
Okay. Yeah.
I really would.
And I feel like seafood's cooler as well. So if I'm into one of them, I kind of want to be, like, again, a mob boss with a bit of lobster.
Yeah. I think if I had some scallops in the shell, I'll keep it really straightforward. Just start off straightforward, something like a real nice sort of tomato and endure butter or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I could. I think I could convince you, especially if you had to go on a clam the other day.
Yeah.
So that came out a bit wrong. Had to go.
Banged out a little quick clam. Yeah, it was nice. Oh no, honestly though, there's nothing more I want, and because I'm so into food, it does pain me that I'm not into it. Do you know what I mean? And I always think to myself, touch wood, it will happen one day, and then I've got a whole new chapter. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I can appreciate it. But I'll definitely take you up on that. Yeah, I'd love that. Love that. Wicked.
Now, I love this track you've chose, but you tell us the track.
Okay.
The main course.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So the track I've gone for, so Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style was one of my first albums I ever had.
Yeah.
And so it will always hold it's just, some of the lyrics didn't date very well, but it will always hold a place in my heart. And Snoop Dogg, What's My Name? That's a single off the album. Because I don't want to alienate any of the audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any of the, participants.
Yeah.
No, what are they called? Guests, didn't it?
Guests.
Yeah. So Snoop Dogg, What's My Name? I think it's a good little party vibes.
It's a tune.
Good one for the main course.
Yeah. The video, right? I love this track, right? The video, I don't know if you can remember the video.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But like an English version, but like a council estate version, right? Me and the boys, right, back in day, summer holidays.
Yeah.
We would go around to mates. You've always got the mate whose mum and dad are proper liberal and let you do anything, and they're out and the house is a state and that, but they just let you. So like that lad was called Dan, and we'd always be around his house and we just watched Friday.
Oh man, I used to do the same.
We just every day we just watched Friday.
Yeah.
But we were like living Friday.
Yeah.
But in like an English council estate. And that video just reminds, and I'm sure the dog pound man is the dad.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's the dad,
It's
and
true.
it just reminds me of Friday.
It's so true when they're having a house party turn into dogs and it's the same vibes. Yeah, man. It's because it's that West Coast, Yeah. I used to be so obsessed with that as well because that was my first album, and I used to, I actually had when I was like 11 years old, I had hair down to my chin because I was into Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
But then I was also into Snoop Dogg, so I actually braided it. And I had checked shirts and baggy jeans.
So you were like a hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. And no one at my school knew about, they were all listening, what was in the charts because they were like 10, 11 years old. And I was walking around just spitting Snoop Dogg lyrics in people's face, wanting to be a like West Coast gangbanger, not realising that, the pain and hardship that goes with it.
Yeah.
But at the time it felt really cool.
slightly. I kind of went to school. I remember on the first ever non-school uniform, a non-uniform
Mufti day.
At school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of remember I was a bit late, and I remember walking into the classroom, and I just wasn't quite dressed the same as everyone else, and felt an absolute. So. Do you remember gravity jeans?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then the ones that were black, and you could buy all the different colour bums.
Yeah.
So I had like red bums, and then there was a phase where you just buy a jumper from Top Man.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So a jumper and that, and red suede Champion boots.
Amazing.
And then like my hair kind of all gel forward on my forehead, and like it's just like. Yeah, everyone else was a bit tamer.
You look at them, you idiots, this is the latest fashion. Yeah. You just haven't got the balls for this.
Yeah, but the best of it was, my dad knew. Yeah. He knew what a twat I looked. Right, but he let me get it, and I always remember his way. He'd laugh at me because I always wanted in my head. I wanted a step.
Yeah.
Like
all
the kids that had a step, their hair was thinner.
Right,
my hair was really thick.
Of course, yeah.
So it just looked like Lego hair.
Yeah.
So it looked like pop on, pop off hair, right? Yeah. So he just would laugh at me going out the front door, knowing that one day, son, you'll realise what an idiot you look. So yeah, I can relate. Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Dessert time.
All right, so dessert. I'm not a I always say I'm not a massive dessert head, but I do always want it. If it was starter, and if the classic question is starter and main, or main, it would always be starter and main. But I definitely started getting more of a sweet tooth, I think. You know, like if you're with people that always order dessert, you're like, nah, I'm good. And you're like, actually, I'll have a little bit of that. Wow, that's banging, actually. That's insane. Is that what chocolate's like? Wow. It's much better than a starter.
And then they hate you.
Yeah, then they hate me, exactly. So I started ordering my own. No, but always my favourite, like, when I used to have, like, birthdays and that, my mum would get me an Iceland's chocolate gatto, and I still think that's like one of the best ones.
Yeah.
And profiteroles as well.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was my first.
Was it by Sarah Lee?
Yeah, Sarah Lee. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it?
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Like, because I didn't really like fruit in my desserts and that back then. I just was straight chocolate. And for me, it was a solid choice. And it's not too sweet.
Yeah.
As well. The creaminess, but not too sweet. Do you know what I mean? And then, and alongside that, on the side, it'd always be profiteroles. So I think that was a little bit of a nostalgia thing. But it goes with the menu, and I always order it if it's on a menu at a restaurant. So I love a profiterole, man. Actually, they do. I went to this place recently where they put ice cream in the middle instead of whipped cream. So that was pretty insane. Yeah.
Well, I said to you at the beginning, like, your menu just really, really resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's class right the way through it. And unfortunately, my dad's no longer here, but he was like my absolute hero. So my mum and dad ran a guest house.
Oh,
and that's kind of how I got into hospitality.
Yeah.
And all the guests, like, they would buy like those Sarah Lee desserts. So things like that chocolate gatto.
Yeah.
There was a thing called Danish bar.
I remember that.
Remember, like a long rectangle sponge thing with vanilla.
Yeah.
And profiteroles just make me think of him. And like, I mean, when you buy them ones that are like a pyramid, with all that chocolate and that whipped cold cream,
and that's it.
Amazing.
Exactly that. I love hot and cold as well. So getting that, the hot from the melted chocolate on it, and the cold from the. I love that. You know, and if there's ever an option with, like, I don't know, an apple pie, and they're like, do you want cold or hot? No, I want cold custard, or I want ice cream. I like hot and cold. I just love that.
Yeah. Blowing my mind again, right? Of course you like temperature contrast. So I'm going to put it to you, right? Because you said apple pie, right?
Yeah.
So again, I told you earlier, didn't I, before we started recording, like, my mum's from the Seychelles, my dad's from Blackpool.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Southampton, and down south, apple pie or stuff like that's just with cream, custard. But my dad loved cheese.
Okay.
With, like, apple pie, Eccles cakes,
wow,
stuff like that, right? So we do a dessert at Number 6, our restaurant, the first restaurant I opened, where we, it's homage to him, where we do like an apple tartare, and we do it with like a blue cheese, so you got that kind of salty, a bit of acidity and all of that. Yeah. So try it. Like, next time you have some apple pie, like, pick one of your like something, if you like your cheddars or something like that, and just have a lump of room temperature cheddar with the apple pie.
That's amazing, and it sounds insane at first, and then when you start trying to get, that's what you do with food, right? You're trying to get some logic out of it. Yeah. I suppose you have apples with cheese,
pastry,
with pastry.
Cracker.
True, yeah. With when you say the blue cheese and that, you could have that with poached pears. You know, that's not that strange. No. So it's like, that's amazing. So I'd love to try that. Yeah.
Super tune. Yeah. What tune are we going with for dessert?
So again, I feel like sort of Raekwon would be flagging at this point.
Yeah.
Because
I love how many of you've just automatically assumed how
some
many
of them would be flagging. Because some of my routines are dipping at this point. We said earlier he wouldn't be laughing as much. So I'm thinking, Ray, and he's like, what? And I go, you got your mic with you? He goes, of course I do. He pulls it out his pocket. I go, plug it in the karaoke machine. I popped on Ice Cream, one of your famous tracks.
Yeah.
Play it, please. And he'll do it, and it'll be amazing. Yeah. And you know, because it's a dessert, it's an obvious choice, but it's a great choice.
Yeah.
And they talk about different desserts on the track and that. And to be fair, there's a lot of other MCs on that track. So he'd have to do all their bits. Or we just do a karaoke and pass it around.
Yeah.
You could be Method Man.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was just about to say as well. I mean, I know I've talked about like your loves of other sort of music, but you are also deeply rooted in hip hop, aren't you? And stuff, and real kind of underground and
man. Yeah. I love hip hop. But like I was raised on, well, as we all are, probably just pop music originally, and then my first love was Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, like Cypress Hill, and Wu-Tang. Then, as I got older, about 15, then I got into garage and jungle, and then eventually grime, and then looped back to my first love, which was hip hop, and then I just spent 8 years just digging into all of that, and that's always very close to me.
Yeah,
that 90s hip hop. Yeah.
I've got one more for you. I think you'll be really good at this. Right, so obviously you and your boys are proper creative, Kurupt FM, Taste Cadets. They're cool names, right?
Oh God, here we go, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be ready for this, right? If you opened a restaurant, what would you call it?
Oh man. Okay. I'd call it hospoda.
Yeah.
Which in Czech means pub, right? But out there, you get your best food in a pub. They call them restaurant. They call restaurants a pub because it's just anywhere that serves beer. But and you get some of your best, no frills, good quality food there. And just the atmosphere is always welcoming and like family sort of atmosphere in the sense that you come there, people, like how a good classic old pub would have been here. And it's just like, my mother tongue. Yeah, hospoda, yeah.
It's one of those things where, like in French and Italian, things always sound better.
Yeah.
We say pub. Like, all of a sudden as well, listen to this. Like imagine in London, this really cool place, like hospoda.
Yeah.
By Seapa.
Yeah, nice.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going there.
In English, it sounds like Hodge Carrier, hospoda, like it's a job on a site.
Yeah,
I used to work as a hospoda actually back in the day. But yeah, nice. Yeah.
Right, the last question I got for you. In my industry, the one sort of thing that is like the absolute, the dizzying heights of recognition is a Michelin Star.
Right, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And when you get a Michelin Star, it is awarded, on their sort of 5 key principles, but, it's just about something that is, or an establishment or chef that is serving incredible food consistently. If you had to give an artist a Michelin Star, who would that be?
So, and just before that, I only found out in the last few years that it's the tyre company, Michelin, isn't it? That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's an amazing story. Yeah. Like I was lucky enough a couple of years ago to have to do some stuff with GQ and Michelin, and it taught me loads like how it started, and it was exactly that. It was 2 brothers,
right,
who basically like the Michelin brothers and the tyres, and they then wanted to kind of work out how entrepreneurial is this? How do we sell more tyres?
Right.
So they invented the Michelin Guide, and it started off by just recommending hotels and restaurants, and giving it to people at first for free, because then they would go and do more miles on their tyres.
No way.
And then obviously they'd sell more tyres.
That's crazy. Are they? And they're French.
Yeah.
And they're into food, maybe. Yeah.
So wow. And then I think one of them walked into like a garage in France and saw basically like a toolbox being propped up by a load of like Michelin books. So then that was when they decided, like, hang on, we're offering a very good service here. So that's when they monetized it and started selling the book. And then it grew, and then the whole star rating system came in later on. But that's how it all started, by trying to sell more tyres to make people drive further.
That's crazy.
It's wicked, isn't it?
Sick, yeah. And I love that the lesson that teaches you as well, that like, you don't have to get something straight away. If you plant something, and something can come, a longer way. But that's amazing. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah. Cool. I'm definitely gonna be dropping out at the dinner party.
Yeah. Or that could come up in a pub quiz.
Yeah, that's true. Raekwon's nodding off. Ray, check this. You're gonna love this.
Not once he's had one of my secret cookies. He'll be back right. Yeah, right in the party.
You know Paul Ainsworth, right? So he told me, right.
Oh dear! They asked me actually that, like, Paul, like, all the dishes you talk about, can you provide recipes for? Just as a little disclaimer, I won't be putting that on the website.
You can just swap it for something.
Yes.
So my I'd give the Michelin Star to a rapper who, because I just thought, all these people from the US, right? The artists that I've spoke about. But my favourite UK, one of my favourite artists in general, but he's a UK artist, is he's a guy called Cass is Dead. And he's incredible. And he's been going since like the grime era, but he had like a revamp sort of thing, and changed his name, and now he's more of like a rapper, but he kind of sits on loads of different types of beats, like different BPMs and stuff, and he's just amazing, man. And he's got an incredible story behind him. He does a lot of like chefy and food references as well, so that's why it came to my head with this. And I feel like not enough people talk about him and give him his props, so I'll give him a Michelin Star, and then people will know. You know what I mean?
And that, do you know what? That's what it's about. There's so many restaurants out there that, when they're awarded a Michelin Star, you're like, oh, I didn't know about that place. Yeah, it's true. And that's kind of what the Michelin Guide does. It goes out and it looks for people who are doing the most amazing things. And that's, I think, what you've just described with Cass is Dead.
Sick. Yeah.
Listen, mate, I have like thoroughly enjoyed this. I mean, you are like, you've got your own podcast. You do everything. So like, for me to be kind of interviewing you and asking you questions about something I love and you clearly love, food and music, is just been an honour. So thank you so much, mate. Man, and honestly, I've loved it.
Thank you so much, because, big fan of you, and getting to talk to someone that actually knows, their stuff and a master of their craft when it comes to food is like really enjoyable for me. So I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
That was really good, man.
Thank you, man. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Wicked.